Jesus' words, a message of rest, trust, and faithful living. Come to me when your strength feels limited and your heart feels heavy. You were not created to carry every burden alone. Lay down what weighs on you, not because it is insignificant, but because I am sufficient. Rest is not weakness. It is trust expressed through surrender. Do not be troubled when the road feels narrow or demanding. The way of truth has always required intention. Walk it steadily, not anxiously. You do not need to run to prove faithfulness. Remain close, and each step will be enough for the day given to you. When the world pressures you to strive for recognition, remember that your value is already known. You do not need to earn what has been freely given. I see what is done in secret, the quiet obedience, the unseen faith, the patience practiced when no one applauds. Nothing offered in love is overlooked. Do not allow fear to rule your decisions. Fear speaks loudly, but it does not speak wisely. Trust invites peace even in uncertainty. When you choose trust, you choose life grounded in truth rather than controlled by anxiety. Learn to remain gentle without becoming weak, and firm without becoming hardened. Love does not require loudness to be strong. Compassion does not diminish authority. Walk with humility, and strength will accompany you. When you fall, do not hide from me. Return. Restoration begins with honesty, not perfection. I did not call you because you would never stumble, but because you would rise again with humility and faith. Grace is not exhausted by failure. Do not store your hope in outcomes alone. Outcomes change, but truth remains. Build your life on what endures: faith, obedience, mercy, and love. What is built on these will stand when circumstances shift. Be patient with your growth. Seeds do not become fruit overnight. What is forming within you takes time, care, and trust. Remain faithful in what is small, and you will be entrusted with what is greater. When silence surrounds you, do not assume absence. I am present even when my voice feels quiet. Faith is not proven by constant reassurance, but by continued trust. Walk forward. I am near. Love others as you have been loved, not selectively, not conditionally, but intentionally. Love transforms more deeply than correction alone. Truth spoken. Without love wounds. Love lived with truth heals. Do not worry about tomorrow as though it must be carried today. Tomorrow will have its own grace. Remain faithful in this moment. This moment is where obedience lives. Let your heart remain teachable. Pride closes the door to wisdom, but humility opens it wide. Those who listen learn. Those who trust grow. When the world tells you that strength is dominance, remember that strength is faithfulness. When it tells you that success is accumulation, remember that success is obedience. When it tells you to protect yourself at all costs, remember that love is the highest command. Abide in me, not occasionally, not only when life is difficult. Remain. Connection is where life flows. Apart from it, effort becomes exhausting. With it, even hardship bears fruit. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not alone. Walk forward without fear. Rest without guilt. Love without condition. I am with you always. Remain with me when your heart feels restless and your thoughts are divided. Do not search endlessly for peace in many places when it is found in abiding still. You're striving and listen. Peace is not discovered through control, but received through trust. When you feel unseen or overlooked, remember that I see you fully. I know your intentions, your silent prayers, and the choices you make when no one is watching. What is hidden from others is not hidden from me. Faithfulness practiced in quiet places carries great weight. Do not be discouraged when obedience feels costly. The narrow way has always required sacrifice, but it leads to life that endures. What you release for the Sake of truth is never truly lost. What you give in love returns with deeper meaning than you expect. When others misunderstand you, do not rush to defend yourself. Truth does not require haste. Let your life speak with consistency. In time, what is genuine becomes evident. Trust that vindication belongs to God, not to striving. Learn to forgive quickly and completely. Forgiveness is not denial of pain. It is freedom from its power. Holding bitterness binds your heart to the past, but forgiveness opens the way forward. As you forgive, you are healed. Do not measure your worth by comparison. Each path is appointed with care. What I am forming in you is distinct, intentional, and necessary. Walk your path with humility and confidence, knowing it has been prepared for you. When you feel weak, do not withdraw. Come closer. My strength is made evident in dependence, not self-sufficiency. Grace flows most freely where humility makes room for it. Let your prayers be honest, not rehearsed. Desire truth from the heart more than polished words. Speak openly. Listen quietly. Relationship grows where honesty and trust meet. When you are tempted to worry about provision, remember the lilies and the birds. If they are sustained without striving, how much more are you cared for? Seek first what is right, and what you need will be given in its proper time. Remain watchful over your heart. What you allow to dwell within you shapes how you live outwardly. Guard against fear, resentment, and pride. Cultivate faith, gratitude, and love. From the heart flows life. When the way feels long, do not grow weary. You are not walking alone. Every step taken in faith is accompanied. Every burden carried in trust is shared. Abide in my words, and let them shape your actions. Truth lived becomes light. Love practiced becomes strength. Faith exercised becomes sight. I do not call you to be perfect, but to be faithful. Return when you wander. Rise when you fall. Continue when you are tired. Grace will meet you each time. Remain in my love. Walk in it. Live from it. And know this always. I am with you not only at the end of the journey, but in every step along the way. Stay near to me when the way feels uncertain and your heart seeks reassurance. Do not be afraid of the questions that within you. Questions do not separate you from faith. They often lead you deeper into it. Bring them to me without fear. I am not unsettled by your searching. I welcome it. When you feel tempted to carry tomorrow's worries into today, release them. You were given grace for this moment, not for burdens that have not yet arrived. Live fully in what is before you. Faithfulness is practiced one day at a time. Do not harden your heart when the world responds with indifference or resistance. Love that endures remains open even when it is not returned. I did not teach you to love because it would be easy, but because it would be true. Love offered sincerely is never wasted. When you feel unqualified or unworthy, remember that I do not call the strong to shame the weak. I strengthen those who are willing. What you lack in confidence, I supply in grace. What you lack in certainty, I supply in presence. Be slow to judge and quick to understand. You see only a portion of what others carry. Compassion sees beyond behavior to the burden beneath it. Extend mercy as you have received mercy. Do not let success distract you from humility, nor hardship steal your joy. Both are temporary. What endures is a heart anchored in truth and love. Remain centered, whether you walk through abundance or difficulty. When you are corrected, do not resist it. Correction given in love restores alignment. Receive it with humility, and it will produce peace. Pride resists instruction, but humility multiplies wisdom. Remain faithful in prayer even. Words feel few. Silence shared with me is not empty. It is communion. Trust grows in these moments, even when you do not feel it immediately. Your life reflect light rather than noise. You do not need to convince others of truth, live it. A life shaped by love, patience, and integrity speaks louder than argument. When you feel tempted to withdraw because of pain, choose connection instead. Allowed to remain. Do not isolate what needs restoration. Remember that the kingdom grows quietly, like a seed in the soil. You may not see it expanding, but it is alive and active. What you sow in faith will rise in time. Remain obedient even when the reason is unclear. Obedience rooted in trust bears fruit beyond understanding. Walk forward. The path will unfold as you move. If you grow tired, rest with me. Do not quit. Rest restores strength. Quitting abandons promise. Pause, be renewed, then continue. Above all, remain in love. Love for God. Love for others. Love that transforms hearts, including your own. I am with you in the stillness and in the storm, in the questions and in the answers, in the beginning and in the waiting. Do not fear the journey. Walk with me. Remain with me even when the way feels quiet, and nothing seems to change. Not every season is marked by movement. Some are marked by deepening. What grows in stillness becomes strong enough to stand in storms. Do not rush what is being strengthened within you. When obedience feels unnoticed, remember that heaven is attentive even when the world is silent. Faithfulness is never invisible to me. What you do in love, humility, and truth is recorded. Not for recognition, but for reward that endures. Do not fear your limitations. They do not disqualify you. They invite my power to work through you. When you feel insufficient, you are positioned to rely on grace rather than self. In surrender, strength is revealed. When your heart is troubled by the brokenness around you, do not turn away. Compassion is not a burden. It is a calling. Let your heart remain soft. I will guard it. You are not asked to fix everything, only to love faithfully where you are placed. Be careful not to confuse activity with fruitfulness. Many work tirelessly yet remain disconnected. Abide first. From abiding flows fruit that lasts. A life rooted in me produces more through faithfulness than effort alone ever could. When you are tempted to seek certainty before obedience, remember that faith often walks ahead of understanding. Trust does not require full explanation. Take the step you know is right. Light will meet you there. Let your yes be sincere and your no be peaceful. You are not required to carry every expectation placed upon you. Obedience to God sometimes means release, not addition. Choose what aligns with love and truth, even when it requires restraint. When pain revisits your memory, do not relive it alone. Bring it to me. Healing is not forgetting. It is allowing love to transform what once wounded you. What was meant to harm you will not define you. Remain watchful over pride and despair alike. One inflates the self, the other diminishes hope. Walk humbly and confidently, knowing you are held securely. Do not be afraid to begin again. New beginnings are not signs of failure, but of mercy. Each return is welcomed. Each step back toward truth is celebrated. Let joy rise quietly within you, not as denial of hardship, but as confidence in presence. Joy rooted in me is not fragile. It remains even when circumstances shift. When you do not know what to pray, simply remain. Presence is prayer. Trust is prayer. Love is prayer. I am with you when you speak and when you are silent. When you understand and when you question, when you are strong and when you are weary. Do not be afraid. Stay with me. Walk with me. Live in my love. Continue to trust my nearness even when emotions fluctuate. Feelings rise and fall, but truth remains steady. Do not measure my presence by how you feel in a moment. I am with you in constancy, not condition. Faith rests on what is true, not on what is temporary. When you face decisions and the way forward feels unclear, choose what reflects love, humility, and faithfulness. You do not need to foresee every consequence to walk in obedience. Direction often becomes clear only after the first faithful step is taken. Do not allow regret to anchor you to the past. What has been surrendered is redeemed. What has been confessed is forgiven. What has been learned is not wasted. Move forward unburdened. Grace makes room for new growth. When you are tempted to grow impatient with others, remember, the patience extended to you. Growth unfolds differently in each heart. Be gentle. Be truthful. Let love guide your response. Transformation is most enduring when it is nurtured, not forced. Remain vigilant against discouragement. Discouragement speaks quietly, convincing you that effort is meaningless and progress insignificant. Do not listen to it. Every act of faith, no matter how small, carries weight. Seeds planted in trust will bear fruit in their proper season. When you feel alone in responsibility, remember that you are never carrying it by yourself. Walk with you. What feels heavy to you is shared with me. Bring your weariness into my care, rather than allowing it to harden your heart. Do not neglect gratitude. Gratitude reorients the soul toward truth. It does not deny difficulty, but it acknowledges provision. Even within it, a grateful heart remains, receptive to grace. Let your words be measured and life-giving. What you speak shapes the atmosphere around you. Speak truth with kindness. Speak correction with humility. Speak hope even when circumstances resist it. When doubt arises, do not panic. Doubt examined honestly can strengthen faith. Bring doubt into the light rather than hiding it. Truth withstands scrutiny. I am not threatened by your questions. Remain faithful in what you have been given today. Do not wait for ideal circumstances to obey. Faithfulness practiced now prepares you for what comes next. When the journey feels long, lift your eyes beyond the immediate. What is forming within you is eternal in value. Temporary hardship cannot diminish lasting purpose. I am with you in the ordinary moments, the routine, the repetition, the quiet. Obedience. These moments shape a life more than the extraordinary ones. Walk steadily. Love deeply. Trust fully. You are held. You are guided. You are not alone. Remain attentive to the small movements of grace within your days. Not every gift arrives with great display. Many arrive quietly, in restraint shown, in patience practiced, in kindness offered when it would have been easier to turn away. These moments matter. They shape a heart that reflects truth. When your strength feels divided between many demands, choose what is necessary rather than what is loud. A focused heart is not one that does more, but one that loves rightly. Order your priorities according to what gives life, not what consumes it. Do not let disappointment convince you that hope has failed. Hope is not undone by delay. It is refined by it. What you wait for with faith is not forgotten. Waiting teaches trust, and trust prepares you to receive without fear. When you encounter resistance, do not respond with bitterness. Resistance is often an invitation to remain grounded. Stand firm without becoming harsh. Truth does not need aggression to endure. Let your firmness be accompanied by gentleness. If you are tempted to hide because of shame, come closer instead. Shame isolates, but love restores. There is no place you can fall where mercy cannot reach you. Return without hesitation. Restoration begins the moment you turn back. Guard your heart against comparison. Comparison distracts you from gratitude and distorts purpose. What you are given is sufficient for your calling. Walk faithfully in what is yours to carry. When you are called to serve in ways that feel ordinary, do not dismiss them. Faithfulness in the ordinary prepares you for moments of greater responsibility. Nothing done in love is insignificant. Remain watchful over your words in moments of frustration. Words spoken carelessly can wound deeply, but words spoken with restraint heal quietly. Choose speech that builds rather than divides. When you face suffering that you do not understand, do not assume abandonment. Suffering is not proof of distance. I am present even there. Hold to what you know of my character when you cannot see my purpose. Let your heart remain open to learning. A teachable spirit is a fertile place for growth. Those who listen deeply grow steadily. Do not fear letting go of what no longer brings life. Release makes space for renewal. Trust that what is removed is not taken without reason. When joy finds you, receive it without guilt. Joy is not a betrayal of seriousness. It is a reflection of trust. Celebrate what is good. Give thanks freely. Above all, remain in love. Love anchors you when everything else shifts. Love clarifies your choices, steadies your steps, and gives meaning to sacrifice. I am with you in each moment you choose faith over fear, humility over pride, love over indifference. Do not be troubled. Do not turn back. Do not lose heart. Walk forward with me. Remain steady when outcomes differ from your expectations. What you imagine is shaped by limited sight, but what I allow is shaped by perfect understanding. Trust that what unfolds serves a purpose greater than what you can presently discern. Surrender expectation and peace will follow. When you feel pressed to prove yourself, release that burden. You are not called to perform for approval. You are called to live in truth. Let your life be an offering of faithfulness, not a pursuit of validation. What is rooted in love does not need defense. Do not let disappointment harden your compassion. Pain can either close the heart or deepen it. Choose to let it deepen you. Heart that remains tender becomes a vessel of healing for others. When you are unsure whether your efforts matter, remember that obedience is never wasted. You may not see the full effect of what you do in faith, but impact is not limited to what you can measure. Seeds planted in love often bear fruit beyond your sight. Be mindful of how you treat those who cannot return what you give. Love freely offered reflects the heart of the kingdom. Generosity without expectation purifies motive and strengthens faith. When correction comes through others, listen with humility. Wisdom often arrives through voices you did not expect. Discern without defensiveness. Growth follows those who are willing to learn. Remain anchored when circumstances shift suddenly. Change does not undo purpose. I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. Anchor yourself in what does not change, and you will not be shaken. When the path requires endurance, do not measure progress only by distance traveled. Endurance itself is progress. Remaining faithful under pressure strengthens you more than ease ever could. Do not fear silence. In prayer, silence is not absence. It is space for trust. Sit with me. Let your heart rest without needing words. When you face temptation, do not negotiate with it. Turn toward truth immediately. What you resist loses power. What you entertain gains influence. Choose freedom without delay. Allow gratitude to steady you when circumstances feel uncertain. Gratitude keeps the heart aligned with truth and prevents fear from taking root. Give thanks not only for what has changed, but for what has been sustained. When the road ahead feels longer than expected, remember that I walk every step with you. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not alone. Let your life be marked by quiet confidence. Confidence not in yourself, but in my presence with you. Walk gently. Stand firmly. Love generously. Remain with me, and continue forward in peace. Remain attentive to my guidance even when it leads you away from what feels familiar. Familiarity can be comforting, but growth often requires leaving what is known. Do not fear change when it is shaped by truth. What I lead you toward will always align with love, even if it stretches you. When you feel the urge to control outcomes, pause and release them. Control exhausts the heart, trust restores it. You are not required to manage every detail, only to remain faithful in your response. Let go and allow peace to take its place. Do not dismiss the quiet invitations of your conscience. Often I speak not in force, but in gentle direction. Pay attention to what draws you toward compassion, honesty, and humility. These promptings guide you along the path of life. When you face moments of solitude, do not interpret them as abandonment. Solitude creates space for clarity. In stillness, distractions fade and truth becomes clearer. Remain present rather than filling the silence with noise. Be careful not to confuse speed with purpose. Moving quickly does not always mean moving rightly. Allow wisdom to shape your pace. What is rushed often requires repair. What is steady endures. When you see injustice, do not respond with hatred. Stand for truth without surrendering love. Anger may highlight what is wrong, but love shows how to heal it. Choose responses that reflect my heart. If weariness returns, do not be ashamed of it. Weariness is part of the journey, not a sign of failure. Come and rest. Restoration renews vision and strengthens resolve. Let your faith be evident not only in words but in the way you listen, the way you forgive, and the way you remain patient under pressure. Faith lived quietly shapes the world more deeply than faith declared loudly. When your plans change unexpectedly, trust that purpose has not been interrupted. Redirection is not rejection. Often it is protection or preparation. Walk forward without resentment. Guard your heart against indifference. Indifference dulls compassion and weakens connection. Stay engaged. Stay present. Love requires attentiveness. When joy seems distant, do not force it. Joy grows naturally where trust is cultivated. Continue to walk faithfully, and joy will return in its season. Above all, remember this: you are loved not because of what you do, but because who you are. Let this truth steady you. When effort feels heavy and progress feels slow, remain with me in faith. Remain with me in love. Remain with me in hope. Remain grounded when you are tempted to measure your life by milestones alone. Life is not only shaped by beginnings and endings, but by the faithfulness found in between. Every ordinary moment lived with intention carries eternal value. Do not overlook what is steady and sincere. When you encounter failure, do not allow it to define you. Failure is an event, not an identity. Learn from it, release, and rise again. I do not withdraw my love. When you stumble, I draw nearer to restore you. Be careful not to let resentment take root when prayers seem unanswered. What you perceive as delay is not disregard. I work beyond what you can see, arranging what will serve you well in the long term. Trust my timing even when it differs from your own. When you feel called to speak truth, do so with wisdom and love. Truth spoken without love wounds. Love spoken without truth confuses. Let both guide your words. Speak when it builds. Remain silent when it preserves peace. Do not neglect the care of your inner life. A restless heart cannot hear clearly. Make space for reflection, gratitude, and stillness. What is nurtured within you will shape how you live outwardly. When you are asked to wait, do not assume inactivity. Waiting refines trust, sharpens discernment, and strengthens endurance. Remain attentive while you wait. I am present in the waiting as much as in the movement. If fear attempts to return, confront it with truth. Fear thrives in Isolation but weakens in the presence of trust. You are never facing anything alone. Walk before you and remain beside you. Let your actions reflect mercy even when justice.
Fils urgents.
Mercy does not deny truth. It fulfills it. Those who receive mercy learn to extend it. In mercy, hearts are softened and lives are changed. When you are unsure of your worth, remember the cost of love already given. You are valued beyond measure. Let this truth silence doubt and steady your confidence. Remain open to transformation. What you are becoming matters more than what you achieve. Character formed in faith lasts longer than any accomplishment. Do not fear the future. The same presence that carries you today will meet you there. Nothing ahead of you is unknown to me. Walk gently. Stand firmly. Love faithfully. Remain in me and continue forward in peace. Remain attentive to the way love calls you to respond in each moment. Love is not abstract. It is practiced in choices, how you listen, how you wait, how you act when no one requires it of you. Let love guide your decisions, and you will not walk far from truth. When you feel misunderstood, resist the urge to withdraw into isolation. Remain open. Not every misunderstanding requires correction, and not every silence is defeat. Trust that clarity will come in its proper time. What is genuine does not need to be forced into recognition. Do not grow weary of doing good, even when results seem distant. Faithfulness is not sustained by visible reward, but by trust in what is right. What you invest in love is never lost. Continues beyond what you can see. When you face moments of doubt, anchor yourself in what you know to be true. Recall the times you were sustained, guided, and strengthened. Memory grounded. Ingratitude reinforces faith when confidence wavers. Be willing to release what no longer aligns with truth, even if it once served you well. Growth requires discernment. Letting go is not abandonment. It is obedience, now required of you. When your heart feels divided between fear and trust, choose trust deliberately. Trust is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. Each choice to trust strengthens your capacity to live freely. Remain careful with the influence you hold over others. Words, attitudes, and actions shape more than you realize. Lead with humility. Serve without expectation. Let your example invite others toward what is good. When joy returns, receive it fully. Do not brace yourself against it as though it must quickly fade. Joy is not fragile when it is rooted in truth. Let it renew your strength and remind you of hope. If sorrow lingers, do not rush it away. Healing unfolds gently. I am present in your tears as much as in your praise. There is no moment you must endure without my nearness. Do not fear growing older. In faith, maturity brings depth, discernment, and quiet strength. What once felt urgent becomes clearer. What once felt heavy becomes lighter when carried with wisdom. Remain faithful in prayer, whether spoken aloud or held quietly within. I hear what is expressed and what is unspoken. Stay connected. Relationship is sustained through presence more than words. Above all, remember this: you are called not to perfection, but to faithfulness. Not to certainty, but to trust. Not to fear, but to love. Remain with me, and continue, steadily, faithfully, and in peace. Remain patient. As understanding continues to unfold within you, wisdom is not rushed, and truth is not revealed all at once. What you are ready to receive will come at the proper time. Trust the order of growth. What is forced cannot be sustained. What is formed endures. When you encounter moments that test your character, choose response over reaction. Reaction is driven by impulse. Response is shaped by truth. Pause, listen, and act with intention. In restraint you will find strength. Do not allow success to distance you from humility, nor difficulty to distance you from hope. Both are teachers. One reminds you to remain grounded. The other reminds you to remain dependent. Learn from each without becoming captive to either. When you see others walking paths different from your own, bless them rather than compare yourself to them. Each journey is appointed with purpose. Comparison obscures gratitude and weakens clarity. Remain faithful to what has been entrusted to you. Be attentive to the condition of your heart when disappointment arises. Guard against cynicism. Cynicism closes the heart to possibility. Choose hope instead, not as denial, but as confidence that goodness remains active even when unseen. When you feel called to wait longer than expected, do not grow resentful. Waiting refines motives and strengthens trust. What is delayed is not denied when it is aligned with purpose. Remain attentive during the waiting. Instruction often comes quietly. Let your compassion extend beyond convenience. Love that costs you something carries transformative power. Give not from abundance alone, but from willingness. What is given sincerely multiplies in ways you cannot measure. When your thoughts grow heavy, return to what is true. Simplicity restores clarity. Release what complicates your spirit unnecessarily. A focused heart hears more clearly and walks more steadily. Do not fear vulnerability. Vulnerability offered in wisdom creates connection and invites healing. Strength does not require concealment. It is often revealed through honesty and trust. Remain faithful to truth even when it is unpopular. Approval is fleeting. Integrity is lasting. Let your life be anchored in what remains firm when opinions shift. When the future feels uncertain, remember that uncertainty does not negate guidance. You are led step by step, not all at once. Walk forward with trust. The path will become clearer as you move. Above all, continue to love, steadfastly, patiently, and without condition. Love reflects what is eternal. Love steadies you when circumstances change. Remain with me in every season. Remain faithful in every step. Remain hopeful in every moment, and continue forward in peace. Remain gentle with yourself when progress feels slow. Growth is rarely immediate. It unfolds quietly, shaping endurance, wisdom, and character. Do not despise small steps, they form the foundation. For greater movement, faithfulness is measured by consistency, not speed. When doubt presses upon your heart, do not let it lead you away from trust. Doubt is natural, but it is not the final word. Bring it to me honestly, and allow my truth to steady your mind. What feels uncertain today will gain clarity in time, for I am patient with your learning and faithful in my guidance. Do not fear failure, for failure is not the end. Is a teacher, shaping humility and discernment. When you fall, rise with honesty and courage. I do not abandon those who return. Restoration begins the moment you seek it with sincerity. Be mindful of the way you speak to others and to yourself. Words shape hearts. Speak truth with kindness. Offer encouragement where despair lingers, and do not speak harshly to yourself when mistakes are made. Grace is stronger than guilt, and love sustains more than criticism. When the world presses hard and circumstances feel overwhelming, anchor yourself in my presence. I am not distant. I am not indifferent. I am near, guiding every step you take even when you cannot perceive it. Trust the unseen. Care and continue walking forward. Do not measure your worth by what you accomplish, but by the faithfulness of your heart. Small acts of integrity, patience, and love carry eternal value. What seems ordinary in the moment will reveal its significance in ways you cannot yet see. Remain steadfast in prayer. Speak openly, or remain in silent reflection. Both are heard. Both are known. Relationship with me grows not from eloquence, but from presence and sincerity. When weariness tempts you to abandon hope, hold fast. Hope is not passive. It is a steady choice to trust. Beyond what you can control. Each act of hope strengthens your spirit and prepares you for what lies ahead. Do not shrink from mercy even when it is costly. Mercy offered freely transforms hearts, beginning with your own. Extend it without hesitation, and you will see how love multiplies quietly but powerfully. Remain attentive to guidance in the ordinary moments. It is often in the repetition of faithful choices that character is formed. Ordinary obedience bears extraordinary fruit when paired with trust and humility. Continue walking with patience, love, and courage. Each step matters. Each choice matters. Even when unseen, you are shaping a path that honors truth. Am with you. In quiet moments, in trials, in joy, in sorrow. You are never alone. Continue with me. Remain faithful even when the journey feels longer than you expected. Length does not diminish purpose. What requires time is often what carries the greatest depth. Endurance shapes strength that cannot be rushed or imitated. Stay steady. What is unfolding is meaningful. When uncertainty lingers, resist the urge to abandon. What you know is true. Truth does not lose its value because clarity is delayed. Hold to what has been revealed and trust that what remains hidden will be made known at the proper time. Do not allow discouragement to speak louder than hope. Discouragement narrows your vision, hope restores it. Choose to lift your eyes beyond immediate difficulty. What you face now is not the conclusion of your story. When you are tempted to compromise for ease, remember that peace gained through compromise is fragile. Peace rooted in truth endures. Choose integrity even when it requires patience or sacrifice. What is built rightly stands firm. Remain attentive to how you love those closest to you. Faith is lived most clearly in everyday relationships, in patience practiced, forgiveness extended, and humility shown without announcement. Let your love be consistent, not conditional. When sorrow visits, do not resist it with denial. Bring it to me. Grief shared is grief lightened. Healing does not demand haste. It requires honesty and trust. Am present with you in sorrow as fully as in joy. Do not allow the failures of others to harden your heart. Remain discerning, but do not withdraw into bitterness. Love wisely, not blindly. Guard your heart without closing it. When you feel called to speak, speak with clarity and gentleness. When you feel called to listen, listen fully. Wisdom knows when to act and when to wait. Let discernment guide your response. Remain anchored when circumstances shift unexpectedly. Change does not mean you have lost your way. Often it means you are being redirected with care. Trust the guidance. Even when it surprises you, be grateful not only for what is added to your life but also for what is removed. What no longer serves truth or growth is released for your good. Make space for what is being formed. When you feel weak, do not retreat in shame. Come closer. Dependence is not failure. It is alignment. Strength flows where trust replaces self-reliance. Let your life remain simple. In purpose, love God, love others, walk humbly, act faithfully. Complexity fades when purpose is clear. Remain with me through every season. Remain open, steady, and trusting. Remain faithful in small steps and continue forward in peace. Remain attentive to the grace that meets you at the beginning of each day. You are given what you need for this moment, not the weight of every moment to come. Receive today as it is offered. Faithfulness is practiced in the present, not postponed to a future you cannot yet see. When your heart feels pulled in many directions, Return to simplicity. Ask what is true, what is loving, and what is faithful. Let these questions guide you when choices feel complex. A clear heart brings a steady step. Do not fear the slow work of transformation. What is lasting is formed patiently. Character grows through repeated choices aligned with truth. Continue choosing what is right even when it feels ordinary or unnoticed. When you encounter conflict, do not rush to defend yourself. Listen first. Understanding opens the way for peace. Speak when your words will heal, and remain silent when silence preserves dignity. Wisdom is not hurried. Be careful not to let success distract you from dependence. Gratitude keeps success from becoming pride. Remember the source of every good thing, and let thankfulness keep your heart humble and free. When disappointment returns, meet it with honesty rather than denial. Name it, release it, and allow hope to remain. Disappointment does not negate faith. It invites trust to deepen beyond expectation. Remain generous with mercy. Mercy offered freely changes more than judgment ever could. Extend it to others and do not withhold it from yourself. Restoration flourishes where mercy is practiced. When fatigue weighs on you, do not confuse rest with retreat. Rest renews strength, so you may continue well. Come away briefly, be restored, and return with clarity. Let your faith be evident in perseverance. Continue when results are slow. Continue when affirmation is absent. Continue when obedience feels costly. Endurance forms a life that stands firm. When joy appears, receive it without fear. Joy is not fragile when it is rooted in trust. Let it strengthen you for the road ahead. Remain teachable. Remain humble. Remain open to correction and growth. Receptive heart continues to learn and to love well. Do not fear what lies ahead. The path before you is not unknown to me. Each step is accompanied. Each burden is shared. Walk gently, trust fully, love faithfully. Remain with me and continue forward in peace. Remain confident that nothing entrusted to me is ever wasted. Every prayer spoken, every tear shed, every act of faith offered in sincerity is held with care. What you release into my hands is not lost. It is gathered, ordered, and redeemed in ways you cannot yet see. When you feel tempted to measure your progress against others, pause and return to gratitude. Gratitude restores clarity. Your path is not delayed. It is distinct. What unfolds for you is shaped by purpose, not comparison. Walk your way with trust. Do not allow impatience to diminish obedience. Impatience seeks immediate relief. Obedience seeks lasting alignment. Choose obedience even when it feels slow. What aligns you with truth will always carry you farther than haste. When you encounter resistance within yourself, do not condemn it. Acknowledge it, examine it, and bring it into the light. Transformation begins where honesty meets grace. You are not rejected for struggling. You are strengthened by bringing it to me. Remain faithful in small decisions. Small decisions shape large outcomes. What you choose in moments that seem insignificant trains your heart for moments that carry greater weight. Faithfulness practiced quietly prepares you thoroughly. When clarity feels distant, do not stop walking. Guidance often unfolds while you move. Stillness has its place, but so does faithful motion. Take the step you know to be right, and the next step will follow. Let patience shape how you speak, how you listen, and how you wait. Patience is not passive, it is strength restrained by wisdom. Through patience, love remains steady even under pressure. When you face loss, do not rush healing. Grief honors what mattered. Allow time and allow me to carry you through it. What has been lost is not forgotten, and what remains will be strengthened. Do not neglect joy when it arrives quietly. Joy does not always come with celebration. Sometimes it comes as peace, contentment, or quiet assurance. Receive it fully. It is sustenance for the journey. Remain rooted in truth. Trends will change. Opinions will shift. Circumstances will rise and fall. What is rooted in truth will remain firm when all else moves. When you feel uncertain of your role or direction, return to love. Love clarifies calling. Love orders intention. Love keeps your steps aligned when the way feels unclear. Above all, remain near to me. Nearness sustains you when understanding lag behind obedience. Presence steadies you when answers are incomplete. You are guided. You are kept. You are never walking alone. Continue, faithfully, patiently, and in peace. Remain anchored when the path stretches beyond what you anticipated. Length does not indicate error. Some journeys require time so that what you carry at the end is strong enough to sustain what follows. Trust the pace that is shaping you. When clarity feels partial, do not dismiss it. Partial light is still light. Enough for the next step. You are not asked to see the entire road, only to walk faithfully where illumination has been given. Move forward without fear. Guidance accompanies obedience. Do not allow disappointment to convince you that effort has failed. Effort rooted in love never fails, even when outcomes differ from expectation. What you have done in faith has already borne fruit within you, shaping discernment and endurance. When you are tempted to withdraw because of hurt, pause and choose wisdom over isolation. Protect your heart, but do not close it. Healing flows through honest connection and patient restoration. Remain open where love invites you to remain. Be attentive to how you steward what has been entrusted to you: time, influence, resources, and relationships. Stewardship is not about possession, but responsibility. What you care for faithfully will be multiplied in purpose. When you encounter moments of temptation, do not linger in them. Turn immediately toward truth. The longer temptation is entertained, the heavier it becomes. Freedom grows where decisiveness and trust meet. Remain faithful in your commitments, even when enthusiasm fades. Faithfulness is proven not by intensity, but by consistency. Continue doing what is right, even when it feels routine. Routine obedience forms unwavering strength. When correction comes, receive it without defensiveness. Correction offered in truth is protection. It realigns you before greater harm occurs. Humility makes room for wisdom to take root. Do not neglect silence. Silence allows you to hear what noise obscures. In stillness, motives are clarified and direction becomes steady. Make space for quiet without guilt. When hope feels fragile, guard it carefully. Hope is sustained by truth remembered and trust renewed. Return to what has carried you before. I remain the same. Let compassion guide your judgments. You do not know the full weight others carry. Mercy offered generously reflects understanding shaped by grace. When you feel weary of choosing what is right, remember that endurance is not endless strain, it is steady reliance. Draw near. Strength is renewed where dependence replaces effort alone. Remain faithful in love. Love clarifies purpose when direction feels uncertain. Love steadies you when circumstances shift. Love reflects what is eternal. I am with you in progress and pause, in certainty and questioning, in strength and weariness. Do not rush. Do not retreat. Do not lose heart. Remain calm when progress feels unseen. What is unseen is not inactive. Much of what is most important is formed beneath the surface, beyond immediate observation. Trust that growth is occurring even when evidence feels subtle. What is being strengthened within you will soon support what you are called to carry. When your resolve is tested, return to what first anchored your faith. Remember why you chose trust, why you chose obedience. Why you chose love. Purpose recalled restores endurance. Let remembrance steady you. When resolve wavers, do not allow fear of failure to prevent faithful action. Fear immobilizes, but trust moves forward. You are not required to succeed by human measure. You are called to be faithful by divine measure. Act with courage rooted in truth. When you feel pressured to conform, remain grounded in what is right. Alignment with truth may set you apart, but it will never leave you unsupported. What is built on truth does not collapse under pressure. Remain gentle in your strength. Strength does not require harshness. Authority does not require domination. Let and live with humility, and strength will be evident without force. When weariness resurfaces, listen to it wisely. Weariness invites rest, not surrender. Step back. Briefly, restore your spirit and return renewed. Endurance is sustained through renewal, not neglect. Be attentive to opportunities for kindness. Kindness offered freely reflects love in its simplest form. Small acts done sincerely often open hearts more deeply than grand gestures. When disappointment tempts you toward resentment, choose forgiveness. Forgiveness releases you from carrying what was never meant to remain within you. Freedom grows where forgiveness is practiced. Do not fear letting others see your faith lived quietly. Faith does not need spectacle to be authentic. A life marked by patience, integrity, and compassion bears witness more powerfully than words alone. Remain disciplined in hope. Hope is not passive optimism. It is active trust. Guard it. Feed it with truth. Let it guide your expectations without binding them. When the future feels uncertain, return to the present. Faithfulness now prepares you for what comes next. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely where formation is occurring. Above all, remain in love. Love sustains you when answers are delayed. Love anchors you when circumstances shift. Love reflects what cannot be shaken. I am with you, consistently, patiently, faithfully. Continue walking, continue trusting, continue loving, and move forward in peace. Continue forward one faithful step at a time. Remain steady when the days feel repetitive and the progress feels quiet. Faithfulness is often forged in repetition. What you do consistently shapes who you become. Do not underestimate the power of steady obedience practiced without recognition. It forms a strength that does not fade. When questions arise that have no immediate answers, do not allow frustration to take root. Some answers are given through living, not explaining. Walk forward with what you know, and understanding will grow as you remain faithful. Trust deepens through experience. Do not allow past mistakes to speak louder than present grace. What has been forgiven no longer defines you. Learn from the past, but do not live there. The present moment is where transformation continues. When your heart longs for reassurance, remember that my presence is your assurance. I do not promise an absence of difficulty, but I promise companionship through it. You are never facing anything alone. Remain generous in spirit even when resources feel limited. Generosity is not measured only by what you give, but by the heart with which you give it. A willing heart multiplies even small offerings. When you feel misunderstood, resist the urge to harden your heart. Understanding is not always immediate. Remain patient. Let truth unfold through consistency rather than argument. What is real will remain. Be attentive to the way you rest. Rest is not avoidance. It is renewal. Withdraw briefly to be restored, then return with clarity and strength. Balance sustains endurance. When you encounter moments of joy, do not rush past them. Receive them with gratitude. Joy strengthens you for future challenges and reminds you of goodness present even now. Remain careful with what you allow to shape your thoughts. What you dwell on grows. Choose what is true, noble, and life-giving. A guarded mind supports a peaceful heart. When courage is required, do not wait until fear disappears. Courage moves forward despite fear. Take the step that aligns with truth, and strength will meet you there. Do not grow tired of forgiveness. Forgiveness restores freedom within you. Each act of forgiveness loosens the grip of the past and makes space for peace. Remain open to growth even when it challenges comfort. Comfort maintains, growth transforms. Trust that what stretches you also strengthens you. Above all, remain with me. Abiding sustains you when effort alone would fail. Connection is the source of life and clarity. You are being guided. You are being strengthened. You are being prepared. Remain attentive to the quiet invitations that guide your heart toward what is good. Not every calling arrives with urgency or clarity. Some come as a gentle pull toward patience, toward reconciliation, toward truth. Lived consistently, honor these invitations. They lead you along the way of life. When the weight of responsibility feels heavy, remember that you are not meant to carry it alone. What is entrusted to you is shared with me. Bring what burdens you into my presence. Strength is renewed where trust replaces isolation. Do not let frustration diminish your compassion. Frustration narrows your vision, but compassion widens it. Choose to see others, not only by their actions, but by the needs and wounds beneath them. Love responds where judgment withdraws. When you face choices that require sacrifice, do not hesitate out of fear of loss. What is surrendered in faith is never empty. What you release creates space for what is truer, deeper, and more enduring. Remain watchful over your inner peace. Peace is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of trust. Guard it by returning often to what anchors you, truth, gratitude, and love. From peace flows clarity. When discouragement whispers that your efforts are small, remember that faithfulness is not measured by scale. A single act of obedience offered sincerely carries eternal weight. Nothing done in love is insignificant. Be patient with others as they grow. Growth is rarely linear. Extend the same grace you have received. Patience creates space for transformation to take root. When you encounter moments of stillness, do not rush to fill them. Stillness allows alignment, quiets the noise that distracts, and sharpens discernment. Remain present in it. Let your life reflect integrity in both public and private moments. Integrity is not proven by visibility, but by consistency. Walk the same way when no one is watching as when all eyes are present. When sorrow revisits, do not interpret it as failure. Healing often comes in layers. Each return is an opportunity for deeper restoration. I remain with you through every stage. Remain humble in learning and confident in love. Humility keeps you teachable. Love keeps you grounded. Together, they guide you well. Do not fear the days ahead. They are already known and already held. You will be given what you need when you need it. Stay close. Stay faithful. Stay hopeful. Remain steady when the way ahead feels ordinary and unremarkable. Not every step will feel inspired, yet every step taken in faith carries purpose. What seems ordinary to you is often the place where endurance is strengthened and character is refined. Do not overlook these moments. They are shaping you. When you feel tempted to seek constant affirmation, return to quiet trust. You do not need continual reassurance to be secure. Your life is held, your path is known, and your faithfulness is seen. Rest in that truth without striving to prove it. Do not allow disappointment to steal your tenderness. Guard your heart, but do not harden it. A softened heart remains receptive to grace, correction, and love. Hardness protects temporarily, but tenderness allows healing to continue. When you are called To serve without recognition, do so willingly. Service offered in humility reflects love in its purest form. What is unseen by others is never unseen by me. Faithfulness in service carries lasting value. Remain careful with your expectations of others. People will falter as you have faltered. Extend patience where you hope to receive patience. Grace given freely keeps relationships rooted in truth rather than control. When your thoughts become crowded, return to stillness. Stillness restores order. In quiet, your heart remembers what truly matters. Let unnecessary concerns fall away and allow clarity to return. Do not fear seasons where progress feels slow. Slow growth is often strong growth. What develops gradually is less easily shaken. Trust what is being built within you. When fear approaches quietly, confront it gently but firmly with truth. Fear loses its power when it is named and surrendered. You are not defined by what you fear, but by what you trust. Remain attentive to opportunities for forgiveness. Forgiveness restores freedom long before it restores relationship. Release what weighs on you. You were not meant to carry resentment. When joy comes unexpectedly, welcome it without suspicion. Joy is not careless. It is a gift. Receive it with gratitude and let it strengthen you. Let your faith remain practical. Faith is lived in choices, attitudes, and responses, not only in words. Let your life reflect what you believe. Remain patient with yourself as you grow. You are learning. You are being formed. Progress is happening, even when it feels subtle. Above all, remain near to me. Nearness sustains you when understanding is incomplete and strength feels limited. Abiding keeps you aligned. You are guided. You are loved. You are never alone. Continue, faithfully, quietly, and in peace. Remain attentive to the way trust is practiced in small daily choices. Trust is not proven only in great moments, but in ordinary decisions made with honesty and restraint. Each time you choose truth over convenience, love over indifference, patience over haste, trust is strengthened within you. When the path requires perseverance, do not interpret resistance as rejection. Resistance often confirms that what you are pursuing matters. Stand firm without becoming rigid. Flexibility, guided by truth, allows you to endure without losing direction. Do not allow uncertainty to silence prayer. Speak even when words feel incomplete. Bring what you have: questions, hopes, fears, gratitude. Prayer is not performance. It is presence. Connection is maintained through sincerity, not perfection. When you feel compelled to look back with longing, remember that the past cannot sustain what the present requires. Learn from what has been, but do not dwell there. What lies ahead is shaped for who you are becoming now. Remain mindful of how you use your influence. Influence is not always visible or intentional, yet it is always present. Led through consistency, humility, and care, quiet faithfulness leaves a lasting imprint. When discouragement attempts to narrow your vision, widen it with gratitude. Gratitude restores perspective. It reminds you of what has been carried through, provided for, and sustained. Let remembrance renew hope. Do not rush reconciliation when healing is still needed. Peace built prematurely is fragile. Allow honesty, patience, and time to do their work. True reconciliation grows from truth held with love. When responsibility increases, do not fear it. Growth is often accompanied by greater trust placed upon you. What you are given aligns with the strength being formed within you. You are not unprepared. Remain disciplined in what you allow to shape your heart. What you repeatedly consume, thoughts, words, influences, will eventually direct you. Choose what aligns with truth and nurtures life. When joy feels distant, continue walking faithfully. Joy is not always immediate, but it returns to those who remain rooted in trust. Do not abandon the path because a season feels heavy. Let your hope remain anchored beyond circumstance. Circumstances change. Truth does not. Anchor yourself where stability is assured. Above all, remain present. Do not rush ahead in anxiety or retreat in fear. Live fully in the moment given to you. Faithfulness lives here. Stay close. Stay steady. Stay trusting. Remain patient when the fruit of your faith is not yet visible. Growth is not always immediate, but it is always purposeful. What is taking shape beneath the surface will emerge in its proper season. Trust the process. You cannot yet see. When your heart feels divided between weariness and hope, choose hope deliberately. Hope is not denial of difficulty. It is confidence that difficulty does not have the final word. Let hope steady you when emotions fluctuate. Do not allow urgency to replace discernment. Not every opportunity requires response, and not every demand requires agreement. Wisdom knows when to act and when to wait. Let peace, not pressure, guide your decisions. When you are tempted to doubt your progress, look not only at how far you still must go, but at how far you have already come. Reflection strengthens gratitude, and gratitude renews endurance. Remember what has been carried through. Remain attentive to the condition of your spirit. A neglected spirit grows restless and reactive. A cared-for spirit remains calm and responsive. Make room for reflection, prayer, and renewal. These practices sustain clarity. When you encounter disappointment in others, resist the urge to withdraw entirely. Discernment protects, but love remains open. Set wise boundaries without closing your heart. Balance preserves both truth and compassion. Do not rush to fill emptiness with distraction. Some emptiness is invitation, an opening for renewal, redirection, or deeper trust. Sit with it briefly. Listen. What feels uncomfortable may be instructive. When your faith feels tested, remember that testing refines rather than destroys. What endures testing emerges stronger and more resilient. Remain steady under pressure. Strength is being formed. Let humility guide your learning. No matter how much you grow, remain teachable. Wisdom flourishes where openness remains. Pride closes doors that humility keeps open. When peace settles quietly within you, protect it. Peace is not fragile, but it can be neglected. Return often to what nurtures it: truth, gratitude, and trust. Remain faithful when your efforts feel unnoticed. Visibility is not validation. What matters most is alignment with what is right. That alignment sustains you long after recognition fades. Above all, remain rooted in love. Love clarifies purpose, steadies emotion, and anchors faith. Love endures when circumstances shift. I am with you in the waiting and in the movement, in certainty and in questioning, in strength and in need. Do not lose heart. Do not turn aside. Do not give up. Remain steadfast when the path ahead feels unclear. Uncertainty does not indicate absence. It signals trust is required. Take each step deliberately, guided by truth and love. The way unfolds as you walk it faithfully, not by rushing to see the end. When your heart grows heavy with concern for others, do not carry more than you were meant to bear. Pray, act, and entrust outcomes to me. Compassion is strengthened through surrender, not through attempting to control everything. Your care is effective when paired with trust. Do not allow fear to shape your decisions. Fear often magnifies what is temporary and overlooks what is eternal. Let courage, rooted in trust, direct your steps. Courage is choosing action even when clarity is partial. Remain attentive to the quiet nudges that guide your behavior. Often speak not through loud calls but through subtle promptings. Listen to them with patience, and allow your life to respond with consistency and care. When disappointment arrives, face it with honesty, not avoidance. Disappointment teaches discernment and fosters reliance on truth. Do not carry bitterness. Release it and allow hope to remain intact. Be faithful in what appears small or insignificant. Seeds planted in ordinary moments grow into extraordinary fruit. Your influence is often greater than you perceive. Do not neglect humble acts of kindness, patience, and integrity. When relationships are strained, lead with humility and understanding. Speak with gentle truth, and listen with open ears. Restoration often begins with small, consistent gestures, rather than grand declarations. Remain disciplined in guarding your thoughts and heart. What you dwell upon shapes what you become. Fill your mind with truth, gratitude, and love, and your actions will naturally reflect these virtues. When sorrow lingers, do not rush its passing. Healing requires time, patience, and surrender. I am present in each stage of your restoration. Trust that even in grief, purpose is forming within you. Let joy rise quietly within you even amidst challenge. Joy is not the absence of difficulty but the recognition of presence, love, and provision. Receive it with gratitude and let it strengthen your spirit. Remain patient with yourself. Growth, understanding, and transformation unfold gradually. Do not be discouraged by seasons that feel slow. Endurance forms strength that is lasting. Above all, remain connected. To me, presence sustains you when effort falters, clarity is delayed, or courage wavers. Abiding ensures guidance, renewal, and peace. You are guided. You are loved. You are never alone. Remain mindful of how you use your words, for they carry weight far beyond the moment they are spoken. Words can heal or wound, encourage or discourage, build or destroy. Choose them with care, speaking truth with gentleness, and allowing love to temper every correction or counsel. When the world seems indifferent to your efforts, do not lose heart. Faithfulness is not dependent on acknowledgement. What you sow in sincerity grows in ways unseen. Even when the harvest is delayed, trust that your labor is meaningful. Do not allow anxiety about the future to rob you of the present. Worry imagines what may never come while faith engages with what is given. Live fully in this moment and let preparedness be guided by discernment, not fear. Remain humble when praised, for praise can elevate the heart beyond truth. Let gratitude, not pride, shape your response. Humility keeps you teachable and ready to receive guidance from sources you might not expect. When temptation approaches, confront it quickly. With courage and discernment, resistance is strengthened through immediate obedience. Delay gives power to what should be refused. Your freedom depends on your willingness to act decisively. In alignment with truth, do not neglect moments of stillness, for they are where clarity grows. In silence, distractions fall away, and you can hear guidance more clearly. Stillness is not inactivity, it is preparation for faithful action. When sorrow returns unexpectedly, receive it with honesty. Tears are not weakness. They are evidence of a heart that feels deeply and trusts the process of healing. Bring sorrow to me and allow restoration to begin where it is needed. Remain generous not only with material resources but with time, attention, patience, and forgiveness. Generosity reflects the heart of the kingdom. What you give freely multiplies quietly and profoundly. Do not fear seasons of waiting. Waiting is not wasted time. In these seasons, faith is strengthened, perspective is refined, and resilience is deepened. Patience practiced now prepares you for what lies ahead. Let love guide your choices above all else. Love clarifies uncertainty, steadies fear, softens correction, and strengthens endurance. Love is the measure by which faithfulness is proven. Remain close to me in all things, in triumph and trial, in questions and clarity, in strength and weakness. I am present in every step, every decision, every moment. You are held. You are guided. You are never walking alone. Remain attentive to the way each day invites you to choose faith anew. Faith is not sustained by yesterday's strength alone. It is renewed through today's trust. Begin again each morning without regret or fear. Renewal is always available to those who remain willing. When you encounter moments of uncertainty that unsettle your confidence, do not resist them with frustration. Uncertainty teaches reliance. It draws your heart away from self-sufficiency and back toward trust. Let uncertainty refine, not weaken, your faith. Do not allow the noise of the world to drown out what is true. Many voices compete for your attention, but not all deserve influence. Listen carefully. What aligns with love, humility, and truth will bring peace rather than confusion. When your efforts seem unnoticed or misunderstood, continue faithfully. You are not responsible for how others perceive your obedience, only for remaining obedient. Integrity sustained over time reveals its value without explanation. Remain gentle in moments of correction. Whether you receive it or offer it, let humility guide you. Correction rooted in love restores alignment rather than causing division. Wisdom speaks with restraint and listens with openness. When exhaustion returns, do not interpret it as failure. Exhaustion signals the need for renewal, not retreat. Come and rest. Strength is restored through connection, not isolation. Be watchful of resentment, for it grows quietly and burdens the heart. Release it quickly through forgiveness. Forgiveness frees you from carrying what was never meant to remain within you. When joy appears softly rather than loudly, receive it without question. Joy does not always arrive with celebration. Sometimes it arrives as calm, assurance, or contentment. These forms of joy sustain you deeply. Remain committed to growth even when it requires discomfort. Growth often challenges familiarity and comfort, but it expands your capacity to love and endure. What stretches you also strengthens you. Do not fear the simplicity of faith. Faith does not require complexity to be genuine. Trust, obedience, love, and perseverance are enough. Walk faithfully in these, and you will not be led astray. When you look ahead and feel uncertain, remember that the path is revealed one step at a time. You are not asked to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Grace will meet you when it is needed. Above all, remain near. Nearness keeps your heart aligned when understanding is incomplete and strength feels limited. Connection sustains what effort alone cannot. You are known. You are guided. You are deeply loved. Remain watchful over the quiet habits that shape your days. What you practice regularly forms your character more deeply than what you intend occasionally. Choose habits that cultivate patience, truth, and love. These will steady you when circumstances are unsteady. When you feel pressure to hurry your growth, release it. Growth unfolds according to wisdom, not urgency. What matures slowly develops roots strong enough to endure. Trust the pace that protects what is being formed within you. Do not let disappointment turn into disillusionment. Disappointment speaks of unmet expectation. Disillusionment surrenders hope. Choose hope. Hope keeps your heart open to what is still possible and true. When you encounter moments of confusion, do not panic. Confusion is not failure. It is often the space where learning begins. Remain patient, attentive, and open. Understanding will come as you remain faithful. Be careful not to confuse busyness with purpose. Purpose is not found in constant motion, but in alignment. Let your actions flow from clarity rather than pressure. A life ordered by purpose. Remain steady even when demands increase. When you feel called to stand alone, do not fear it. Solitude in truth is better than agreement in error. I am with you even when others do not understand. Your choices. Remain firm without becoming rigid. Remain generous in encouragement. Many carry unseen burdens and quiet doubts. A word spoken with sincerity can restore courage where it has begun to fade. Speak life where you are able. When guilt attempts to revisit what has already been forgiven, refuse it. What is forgiven is released. Do not carry what has been laid down. Walk forward in freedom, not self-accusation. Let your faith be resilient, not fragile. Resilient faith bends without breaking, learns without despairing, and endures without losing love. It is formed through trust practiced over time. When you are tempted to retreat because progress feels slow, remember that faithfulness is not measured by speed, but by direction. Continue in the direction of truth even if the steps feel small. Remain anchored in gratitude. Gratitude recalibrates your heart to what is real and good. It guards against bitterness and renews perspective when circumstances challenge you. Do not fear the future. What awaits you is already known and already held. You will not arrive unprepared. Grace will meet you as it has before. Stay close. Stay faithful. Stay grounded in love. Remain careful not to let comparison steal your joy. Others' paths are different from yours, shaped by experiences and timing you do not control. What is meant for you will not pass you by. Walk faithfully in your own calling and let trust guide steps. When weariness presses upon your spirit, do not dismiss it. Weariness invites reflection, renewal, and dependence. Rest does not indicate failure. It prepares you for continued obedience. Allow yourself to pause and return refreshed to the journey. Do not allow doubt to linger unexamined. Bring it into the light of truth. Questions asked honestly refine understanding and deepen faith. Do not fear inquiry. It strengthens the heart when surrendered to guidance. Remain generous with your patience, especially toward those who struggle or falter. Patience given freely mirrors my mercy and creates space for growth. Your endurance in patience strengthens relationships and builds trust over time. When trials arise, do not focus only on their difficulty. Look also for what is being formed within you. Resilience, humility, discern, and love. Trials are not punishments but shaping tools. What endures through trial becomes firm and lasting. Do not neglect the power of quiet obedience. Actions done faithfully without notice often bear fruit greater than any public declaration. Let consistency, not recognition, define your service. When joy visits, embrace it fully. Joy is a reminder of hope and of presence. Let it fortify you for days when hope feels distant. Celebrate it as evidence of what remains steadfast. Remain cautious of bitterness or resentment which weigh the heart and cloud vision. Release grievances quickly through forgiveness. Freedom is restored where mercy is practiced. Do not fear vulnerability, for it does not signify weakness. Vulnerability, offered with wisdom and love, opens doors to connection, growth, and restoration. Strength is revealed in honesty, not concealment. When fear threatens to guide your steps, confront it with truth. Fear can magnify danger and diminish courage, but truth reassures, steadies, and illuminates. Choose trust above the urge to retreat. Above all, remain rooted in love. Love shapes perception, strengthens endurance, clarifies choices, and sustains peace. Love is the foundation upon which faithfulness rests. I am with you in each struggle, each uncertainty, each quiet moment of obedience. You are never unseen. You are guided. You are held. You are deeply loved. Remain steady when answers do not arrive as quickly as you desire. Timing is not neglect. What is delayed is often prepared with care. Trust that wisdom governs the unfolding of events, even when waiting tests your patience. When your heart feels burdened by responsibility, remember that you were never meant to carry everything alone. Do what is entrusted to you and release what is not. Strength is sustained through surrender, not through constant striving. Do not allow regret to keep you anchored to what has already passed. What is learned has served its purpose. Look forward with humility and confidence, knowing that growth continues beyond mistakes. Redemption moves you ahead, not backward. Remain attentive to moments when compassion is required more than explanation. Not every wound needs words. Some need presence. Be willing to sit with others in their pain without trying to resolve it too quickly. When discipline feels difficult, remember its purpose. Discipline protects what matters most. It creates space for peace, clarity, and alignment. What is practiced consistently becomes a source of stability. Do not measure your worth by outcomes alone. Faithfulness is measured by obedience, integrity, and love, not by visible success. Remain committed even when results are unseen. When conflict arises, respond without haste. Listen carefully, speak thoughtfully, and act with restraint. Peace pursued with patience endures longer than peace forced by urgency. Remain open to learning even from unexpected sources. Wisdom often comes quietly and humbly. A teachable heart continues to grow regardless of experience or age. When loneliness surfaces, remember that presence is not always felt in emotion, but it is never absent in truth. You are accompanied even in silence. Nearness does not depend on sensation. Do not resist change when it is guided by truth. Change refines purpose and renews direction. What is released makes room for what is necessary. Remain faithful in prayer, even when words are few. Stillness, trust, and quiet surrender are also forms of prayer. Connection is maintained through sincerity, not length. Let gratitude remain a daily practice. Gratitude anchors you in what is real and sustains peace through shifting circumstances. Keeps your heart aligned with truth. Above all, continue to walk in love. Love clarifies every command, strengthens every step, and sustains every season. Where love leads, you will not be lost. I remain with you in progress and pause in certainty, and questioning in strength and weariness. Do not turn aside. Do not lose heart. Do not stop walking.